be used, and YouTube said and they cut our stream off. So we figured out how to get all these things sorted. So I hope the sound issue is better now, Wayne. Be used, and YouTube said and they cut our stream off. So yes, I believe that that solves the sound issue. So guys, we're gonna hop right in. So I've got a lacquer video, a couple of videos here. So I'm gonna focus mostly on hyenas tonight. I'm in a hyena mood tonight. So or a hyena mood today, and we are going to be watching some hyena videos. Now the first one, I believe, is a hyena that had a run-in with some wild dogs, and it's quite interesting. There's a little bit of a moment where little bit of audio things with a gentleman trying to narrate, but at least he doesn't do too bad a job. His information might be wrong, but he does do his best.
Being unable to find a tree to hoist its prey up into, a leopard lost it to hyenas, who immediately were harassed by a pack of wild dogs.
So the main thing here with this video is I normally try and explain to everybody that all predators scavenge at some point. So that is why when I say hyenas are predators, people say, oh no, but they scavenge. No, not necessarily. You can see these dogs are in there. They're going to give these hyenas hassles just now. So leopard scavenge, lion scavenge, hyena scavenge.
Dogs managed to isolate one of the hyenas, who then sought refuge under the game viewer, while the tracker had to keep his legs up high.
Now this is a question. This is a question mark from my side. If you look at how these vehicles are positioned, nose to nose, no gap in between, it is a bit of a it's a bit of a question mark there, because you've got to ask yourself, so now this hyena is hiding against the car, but if there was a gap, could he have made a run for it?
Suddenly the dogs let the hyena be and went to the site.
Look there, he took quite a beating, eh?
But nothing was left of it.
But an amazing sighting nonetheless.
Just one last nip for good measure.
Yeah, just a last bite, just to get it in there, just to drive it home. We're the boss. So there we go, guys. So that was just to show that hyenas, leopard, So a bit of an interruption there on the stream, sorry for that. The signal is doing all kinds of weird and wonderful things when it is cloudy. But yeah, straight into the next video. And this one is also hyenas, but I just want you guys to check their behavior. It's quite interesting. If I go in there and I see, there you can see there's two lions lying there. There's the hyenas, and there's absolutely no tension. There's a little bit tension later in the video, but the point is they don't cause they're not going to fight with each other unless there's something to fight about, in most cases.
The lions within 7 meters, and at 7:33 one of the male lions, just a big
You can see that it's quite chilled, quite
and
relaxed.
his sister
And then it's just this one boy that gets a bit worked up.
within 5 meters.
But look at the hyenas. Look at the hyenas' behavior.
And they're perching. Twister's following this group.
It looks almost like they're forming a front row there. Like 1, 2, 3, 2 locks. But they're getting ready for that
Rat is
intimidation in numbers. That's what it's about.
Lust joins this group, bristle-tailed, and Bite joins the group, bristle-tailed. So this whole group is all within 10 meters of this juvenile male lion. There's some squealing going on in that group too. Couldn't make out who it was due to number of hyenas.
This is nuts.
This is crazy. Barnacle is
So look there, they just
20 meters.
bundled up.
Barnacle
There's no
and Rat are within 20 meters.
amazing footage of this.
Lions, from the
Off the line goes, marking his territory. And it's sometimes these small little videos that never get views that have got the most interesting.
Lust is in the front with Decimeter. Behind them is Twister, who's on the ground, currently crying. Buar is behind them. Amazon joins the front.
Look there, now they all start to
Bite joins
relax
the
again.
front. Atacama is not in the group, but she's standing.
This lion's still not happy having them around.
We have that group, and Atacama joins that group at 7:34.
But I think that's just him being a grumpy old boy.
They're approaching. Still within 5. Someone's blowing, someone's squealing. Lust yawns. Context lion.
But look at the behavior there. How many times have you guys actually seen that in the wild? Drop us a comment. And that's what makes hyenas dangerous, the fact that they can work as a team.
At 35, he's back to his rock. There's some squealing going on, a lot of squealing.
Oh my god.
And a lot of blowing.
Watch him, watch him, watch him, watch him, watch him.
Here comes someone else.
In the background, Helios is now joining this group. And
This is quite an interesting standoff.
Oh my
4
god.
meters now.
But they know as long as they stand together.
At 7:35, someone is in the background.
So there we go, guys. So just another proof there that it's not always a case of if a lion sees a hyena, it will go to war and whatnot. Yes, there's that interspecies competition, but remember, I always talked on the TikTok lives, and I said, you know, we always say that all predators will fight and kill each other, but that's a rule of thumb. There's always an exception to the rule, and there's the exception right there. Okay, so the next video is I'm going to be discussing is yeah, this is one not for the sensitive viewers. And this is to show you I've always had a soft spot for hyenas, and I'm going to show you now why. They are incredibly good hunters, although it is extremely graphic, because they don't do it, the way they hunt is not pretty, but it's effective. So this is old footage. You can see it was a very old camera. And that hyena is just playing. And what the wildebeest is not realizing is he's thinking he's keeping the animal at bay, but he's just tiring himself out. And that's what the hyena is trying to do. And look at him, just like the wild dogs we saw yesterday, straight for the abdomen. Straight for the abdomen. And he just wants to open up those femoral arteries at the back there. And then he lets him get up again. Shuaib, we'll talk about that in a moment. I just want to finish this video. I'll answer your question just now. So you can see that's the strategy. He's made that gaping hole. He's got the animal to bleed, and now he's just making him move. And the more he moves, the faster the heart beats. The faster the heart beats, the more he bleeds. Well, Wayne, like I said, it's not clean, but it's effective. And when you're out there on the savannah, it's whatever works. But this is why we have this misunderstanding with hyenas, and that they're not hunters, that people see them as scavengers and as bad animals, because you can't exactly put this on National Geographic for a bunch of 10-year-olds to watch. And look at that, one hyena. One hyena, and he's just playing that wildebeest, So this is actually amazing footage. How's it, Waylon? So you see, that's why they get this. It is so effective. I mean, wild dogs pretty much do the same thing, but wild dogs work as a pack. This is one hyena taking on an animal that's 3-4 times his size. And he's just working on that wound, making it bigger, causing more bleeding. And at this point in time, that wildebeest is done for. He can't get up, So now this is the part where it gets a bit, where you have to say to them, geez guys, come on, really? Because now he'll start eating. But he's done enough damage to that joint to the point where the wildebeest can't move, can't go anywhere. So he can enjoy his... This is the only part where I want to say to them, okay guys, just, you know, just sit back for half an hour and then go and eat. And it's graphic and it's brutal, I know, but that's the reality of nature, guys. This is the real nature, not the sanitized version that you see on National Geographic or There we go, there you can see the stomach is already coming through the back. It's by no means quick and it's by no means clean, but it's effective. You can see those legs going straight, stuff like that. That wildebeest is almost done for. So there we go, guys. That is that was hyena versus wildebeest. And I still have a lot of respect for hyenas. They are very misunderstood. Now what you got to keep in mind is that video especially was especially brutal because it's one hyena. If there's more than one, it goes so much quicker. Well, Wayne, you got to remember, Waylon, you got to remember that things happen, adrenaline kicks in, and all of those functions that keep people going. But I can promise you, towards the end of the video, that wildebeest is in such a state of shock. He's not even realizing what's going on around him. Alright, so just to get back to Schwab's question quickly. So he asked why wild animals do not attack safari vehicles. Well, if you've ever been on safari, you'll know that one of the most important things that we do ask people when we go out on safari is we ask people to stay seated when we're in sightings and not stand up, because the animals tend to view the vehicle as one big thing. They don't really see the people on the back. However, when you stand up, then you make yourself visible, and that's when you can get all kinds of interesting things happening. But once again, if you stick around and you watch the last video I'm going to do, or the next video, the long one, then you are going to see that that doesn't always hold true. Animals will attack vehicles. It's partly because they see us as a big thing. It's partly habituation. The vehicles are going through the reserves the whole time, so the animals see them the whole time. They realize they're not prey. And it's also the behavior of the people driving the vehicles. If you use your vehicle effectively, when a leopard cubs come close to your vehicle, start the engine, rev the engine, give them a scare, you'll keep that fear for the vehicle alive, and they'll actually respect the vehicle a lot more. But in a nutshell, it's the shape. Okay guys, so we've got another video here. Now on this video there's something interesting happening that I want to explain, because you know, like I said, I've been educating people for a long time on how we shouldn't interfere in nature, and in this video there's a bit of interference, but it's legitimate interference. So I want to show you guys the video and what happens, and explain what's the story there. So it's a cheetah mother and her cubs. And then a lioness approaches. Now that lion will definitely kill those cubs. But now see, do you guys see there? Those are the rangers from the reserve at the back there. So with cheetahs being an endangered species, in some reserves we have what we call cheetah monitors, and this is somewhere in East Africa where cheetah numbers are on the slant, and they're going to intervene to save the cubs. They're going to give the mother a bit of help. So there the lion goes straight for the cubs. The mother's trying to keep the attention on her. Oh, great footage. Look how nimble they are. So just a quick thing. So the reason why a cheetah can turn so quickly is twofold. So number one, do you see that tail working like a rudder? So they counterbalance. And then the other thing is cheetahs do not have retractable claws. Their claws are out the whole time. So she's got much better grip than the lion. It's like a Formula 1 car on worn out tires versus one on good tires. You don't have a chance. See, but what they're going to do there is, look, they're just putting pressure on the lion. And then eventually the lion gives up and she comes back to lay with the other one. So the point of that video was just to explain to you guys that sometimes sometimes there is intervention, but as I've always said, it's an endangered species. Those 3 cubs are more valuable than most people realize. So the next video we're going to do, if there's no questions so far, fantastic. So the next video we're going to do is one that I dug up that I find very entertaining. It's called 30 times African safari trips went horribly wrong. Now I just want to point out that a lot of times they do go wrong, and a lot of times it's not actually as bad as they make it out to be. But just so you get an idea what to look for when you're in documentaries and watching these shows, they can sometimes sensationalize things a little bit. So I'm going to put the volume very low because there is some narration. And there we go. So number 30.
Of a lifetime after a horrifying leopard attack. The clip begins with Richard Jones, a cameraman for BBC's Spy in the Wild series, attempting to track a pack of wild dogs. After a long time of scouting, the camera crew eventually spots a pack of dogs antagonizing an enormous and angry male leopard.
A male leopard. Richard Richard senses trouble.
The large animal proceeds to climb the trees to avoid the wild dogs, but just as they thought it was over, the leopard looks at the crew and does this.
Then it happens.
Okay, guys, so just to explain there. It looks like unexplained behavior, but it's not really. It's something called referred aggression. So that leopard is so pissed off with those dogs that he wants to attack something, and he wants to show something his boss. Elephants do the same, and that's why if you see two elephants fighting, don't go too close. The losing one is going to look for something to trample, and your car is just about soccer ball size. But let's see what happens.
The cameraman drops the camera out of fear, but due to Richard's experience and quick thinking, the crew managed to get out of this encounter alive.
But in most probably what happened there while the camera was down, the leopard stopped. And he was just trying to prove a point. He was trying to be aggressive towards something else. Kind of save the ego a little bit. Right, let's move on. Number 29.
On a nice evening in Zimbabwe, a group of tourists on a carriage had an encounter with a young male lion that did...
Okay, so something important to note here is they say the people are on a carriage and they have an encounter with a young male lion. I want you guys to look closely at the vehicle. This is not a open safari vehicle.
Didn't quite go as planned. While peacefully riding through the safari, one of the men spots a lion in the distance.
See, it's like a homemade little bucky type thing.
Heading towards
pickup truck.
Oh my God, there's a lion chasing us.
With the lion refusing to give up, the terrified tourists decide to pick up the speed in hopes to lose the animal.
Yes, go, go, go. He's slowing down. Oh, I'm so scared.
Eventually, they pick up enough speed where they manage to lose sight of the animal and are able to safely go on.
Okay, so what I want to point out there is that's not strange behavior at all. They should have the guide or whoever was living on the farm should have expected that, because the fact that they're sitting on the back of a bakkie shows that it's not a well-traveled tourist area. So that, remember, in Zimbabwe you got wide open expanses and no fences around game parks, so you often find lions on private farms, and I do believe that is a lion that is just not used to seeing vehicles. And you can see it's a young male, so that's curiosity. That's all it is. That's why you were following up on that vehicle. Okay, right. Number 28. Which one is this?
What was supposed to be a normal encounter
I remember this one.
quickly turned horrifying after it decided to ruin these...
Okay, so just another thing. Look there. They're pointing at the ears. It's the old myth that if an elephant flaps its ears, it's angry. Not 100% true. If the ears come out and they stay out, that's a problem. And if they're coming at you and the ears are tucked back, it's an even bigger problem. But an elephant flapping the ears, not necessarily aggressive.
Tourists' trip to Kruger National Park. At the beginning of the video, a convoy can be seen trying to get past a giant elephant blocking the road. Moments later, the elephant proceeds to go off the road and into the grass, giving space for the first car to drive off while the others decide to stay. As the animal walks further from the road, the second and third vehicles decide to drive off, thinking that it is already safe to move forward. While
okay, just look at his behavior with the second vehicle.
Unexpected happens after the giant and...
Okay, with the second vehicle, it turned back And right there, personally, I would have said, okay, let me back off and wait a bit for him to get further off the road. But yeah, that's not what they did.
Unpredictable animal decides to do this horrifying thing. Unfortunately, the clip ends prematurely, leaving the status of both the human and elephant unknown.
Okay, so I can tell you guys that that clip is available elsewhere, and that vehicle ended up on its roof. Not a very pretty. But that elephant was just one vehicle after the other invading its space. If they just backed off and gave it some time to get further away from the road and follow the herd, that never would have happened. Right
off the bat, an enormous hippo can already be seen charging towards the tourists at the beginning of this shocking encounter. Naturally, the driver starts to speed away, hoping to escape the animal in time and ensure the safety of his passengers. Too bad for them. Hippos can reach speeds of up to 30 miles per hour in a snap, which leads to this happening.
Guys, he knocked the vehicle good and solid there. Okay, guys, I know exactly what happened here. So I've said 1,000 times already on the TikTok lives, hippos get an unfair rap for being aggressive. They're not really that aggressive. A hippo won't charge a car like that just because he can. But look carefully the situation here. If I go forward, right over there, I believe that is a water source, and it looks like it's winter time. There's not a lot of feed. The hippo was out much later than normally expected, and he was out grazing, and this vehicle ended up cutting him off from the water, and the water is his safe zone. Now with a 2.5 ton animal like that, he's not going to go around you to get to safety. He's going to go through you to get to safety. And that's exactly what he does here.
After the charge, the animal quickly flees in the opposite direction.
Because look,
the tourists
he goes straight on.
Happened.
So he just feels he's cut off.
Alex, all right?
And he wants to get back to
Probably
his safe
to
zone.
say that
That's
the tourists
the only
learned
problem
a very
there.
valuable lesson that day.
Waylon, so if you go into a place like the Kruger National Park or whatever, you sign an indemnity form. So, yeah, the park is not responsible. They give you a list of rules. If you don't follow them and you get hurt,
Racing
okay.
video.
Now this is one of those clips that I said to you guys. Sometimes they're not that bad. This is not a safari going wrong. This is just normal leopard behavior. Nothing unusual. Especially in a place like Madikwe, and I can believe this is Madikwe if you look at the vegetation and the red soil. Leopards, like lions, if they feel threatened, they will give you a mock charge, and that's all that happens here. They're just she's just laying down the law and saying don't come any
Picks
closer.
up with the leopard bluff charging and threatening the tourists, recording it from afar. As they record the animal, despite it being aggressive, they eventually get the scare of a lifetime after it does this.
Okay, so just pointing out that posture, the stiff legs and bouncing on the legs like that, that is the aggressive saying, I'm telling you to stop here and no further.
Luckily, after a 1.5-minute encounter, the predator eventually loses interest in the tourists and proceeds to back off into the bushes.
Right, number 25. Here we go, 25 to go.
The idyllic river safari of
Oh.
Chobe suddenly became hot.
As soon as that came on, I can tell you now that boat is way too close to that elephant. This is once again a human-made episode, yeah. The elephant's in the water, so it's not his natural home, and you are that close. He's gonna make his intentions
after
known.
a group of tourists got too close to an elephant, agitating it and triggering an unfortunate turn of events. The video opens with a boat filled with tourists approaching an elephant half submerged in the river as the tourists take pictures and videos of the animal. The boat does not stop drifting towards the animal, eventually getting close enough to the elephant, unsettling and upsetting it, making it do something extremely terrifying.
So that's another thing. When you're on a boat safari, you have to keep in mind that there's a current and it's going to move you. So you can't just sit there. You need to make sure you keep your wits about you. It's much more difficult than in a vehicle. They just crossed the line. They just crossed the line. It was too close.
Stands their ground, which adds fuel to the fire, angering the elephant more, leaving it with no choice but to do this.
Okay, guys, so I don't believe the guide was standing his ground. What I believe is the problem there, like I said, on a boat, your reaction time is much slower. You've got to get the motor down, you've got to get the motor started, and then to start moving takes a lot longer. So, yeah, more reason not to get that close in the first place. Yeah, telling him to stop that is not going to change
Bashing
anything.
the boat several times, the tourists become terrified, which eventually makes the tour guide steer the boat in another direction, away from the aggressive tusker.
Okay, guys, so just a correction there. That elephant is not overly aggressive. It was just standing its ground. It was just protecting itself. No serious behavior there. He was just telling them to get out of there. And the other thing is, that's not a tusker. Tuskers are way bigger than that.
Please, if something happens, just stay on the boat. Don't stand up.
Yeah, I'm staying on the boat.
Yeah,
Fortunately for them, the animal does not pursue the tourists. And
But now I just want to point out there, just going to go back a couple of seconds.
something happens, just stay on the boat. Don't stand up.
Yeah, I'm staying on the boat.
Look there, look how far the other boats kept. This is a guide issue. This is a guide taking chances. Whoever was in charge of that boat was the one taking chances.
fortunately for them, the
Not a
animal
problem
does
with
not
the animal.
pursue the tourists, ending the encounter.
Right, number 24.
A South African safari, a group of tourists thought it'd be a good idea to park their car right next to a group of lions trying to
Right, guys, I've seen this clip before. This is a good reason to follow the rules of the park. Keep your windows and doors locked, because things can happen. And just to go back to Shoaib's question earlier about why animals don't attack vehicles, they get inquisitive sometimes.
Unfortunately, they quickly regret their decision after getting the attention of one of the more curious lions.
Oh my gosh!
I would have
didn't know they
paid
could do
good
that.
money to see those people in their cars' faces.
Still in utter shock, they now thankfully decide to lock their doors and proceed to drive away before anything else occurs.
So yeah, that's a bit of a funny one.
A sunny day in Valewater, South Africa. These men had their enjoyable safari ride
Right,
take a
what's
truly
happening here?
unpredictable turn when they got charged by a furious hippo. Before anything, they begin recording when they notice the curious animal slowly approaching their car from the road behind them.
Okay, guys, so just something to keep in mind. It's not a curious animal approaching him. Look, fences on that side, fences on that side, no water anywhere. That animal is out of his comfort zone.
Ek dink daai pyn. Kyk of ons hom hier kan in. Hou maar net in eerste hoor. Kan jy sê as jy kan ry?
And now you're going to see
Not
what makes a
expecting
hippo so
much to
scary.
go wrong, they attempt to continue their unusual observation while they have the chance, when things very suddenly go south. Luckily for
Sounded a
them,
bit
they
panicky
gained
there,
sufficient
I must
speed
say.
where the animal gives up on the chase, and they
But once
continue
again, guys, you
driving
can't
away
blame the
altogether.
animal for what happened there. You've got fences on both sides of the road. You've got the other vehicles behind him. That animal is boxed in, and he just wants to get out of there. And the only way out is through whatever's blocking him. Right, number 22.
Johannesburg National Park. A group of tourists and their safari guide had a dangerously close call with a dangerous elephant, and the outcome is terrifying. The clip starts out with the explorers and their tour guides calmly observing a giraffe in the distance from the safety of their bus. Out of nowhere, though, an elephant emerges from the bushes.
Okay, so something to keep in mind immediately. This elephant is definitely in must. Look there. It's a male, and he's got that gland secretion there. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
And
here.
after taking an interest in the tour bus, the animal makes a beeline for it.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
On reaching the vehicle, the humongous mammal starts circling it, walking from one end to the other and sizing up the tourists.
Okay, so if it was me, I'll be honest, once he's passed and he's behind me, I would have my vehicle in first and get my vehicle started. I think this was waiting a bit too long to my liking. And at that time, you shouldn't have stopped. You should have
Moments
carried
later,
on going.
The elephant decides that it has had enough and starts to walk away. However, in a surprising turn of events, the beast returns and does this.
Okay, so that's a common thing, and people are picking it up from videos, and they're trying it out when they're self-driving in the park, and it doesn't always work. Why would you sit there and smack your door if you can just put the car in first and go?
Noticing that things are getting out of hand, the bus driver immediately moves the vehicle abruptly.
I disagree. He didn't immediately move his vehicle. He first tried to screen the elephant off.
Ending the encounter.
Right, number 21. Let's go.
In Kruger National Park, a few tourists in a car felt comfortable enough.
Note the open window. One of the rules in the park, in Kruger Park, is when you approach a sighting, have your windows and your doors closed.
To drive right next to a huge male lion trying.
Now, this is actually rude behavior from the people in the car, because they're obviously approaching this lion from behind. The lion is walking in the road, and they are forcing the lion off the road. Not a good idea,
To mind its own business.
or not respectful.
Eventually, though, the lion gets fed up and decides to let them know.
That's enough. See, window closed.
Out of shock, they unfortunately stopped recording and most likely just drove away.
Number 20. Let's go.
On a sunny day in South Africa, a group of men's average safari expedition quickly turned for.
Okay, guys, so I don't believe this was an average safari expedition. I believe this was a hunt. And I'll show you why I believe that now. But in any case, it went horribly sideways for these guys.
For the worse after being chased down by a territorial male lion. At first, things seemed to be going.
This is why this is not a walking safari, but a but definitely a hunt. Is these guys turned around to get away from the lions. First thing you learn on Trails Guide is don't ever turn your back on an animal. Okay, so that's the first thing.
Even after backing away quite a bit, the hungry predator sadly decides that he...
Second thing is, if you look at the if you look at the shadow, I just want to go back there.
Even after
there,
backing away quite...
There, that shadow there, that's a cameraman. Hunters normally take a camera crew with them when they go hunting. People don't normally do that for a bushwalk.
Quite a bit, the hungry predator sadly decides that he won't let them go so easily. Now, fighting for their lives, the men continue to fire warning shots towards the animal.
Okay, so I don't believe those are warning shots, but they're not doing very well. So the other reason why I believe this is a hunt and not a walking safari is as a guide who has done walking safaris, I know that the procedure for a lion charge would be you keep your gates behind you, you go down on one knee, chamber around, and you shoot your first shot when the animal comes, let's say 5 to 3 meters away from you. You don't shoot before that, and you don't shoot warning shots. The reason for that being is if you shoot a warning shot and you've got a jam and your rifle jams, well, then you've got a slight problem, don't you? So if you shoot, you make it count.
All while running as fast as they can. Eventually, the lion thankfully decides to spare the men, and they simply proceed to record it from a safer distance.
So no, I believe that was hunting behavior. That was not
a fun trip.
That was not shooting. So here we go, video number 29. Number 19. Sorry, guys.
Trip on a safari became extremely terrifying after a safari vehicle filled with tourists came face to face with a herd of elephants. This encounter...
Okay, once again, I've got no idea what this video is doing in this compilation. This is really not that bad.
Starts off intensely as the video shows a large herd of elephants running towards a jeep, leaving the passengers terrified and concerned.
And once again, I think this is Madikwe Game Reserve. So, in Madikwe, with the elephant population being bigger than it's supposed to be, especially you can see this is the dry season. There's not a lot of vegetation there. So, especially that time of year, the elephants suffer feeding stress and they get a bit more aggressive. But... look there, the vehicle is going this way, the elephants are going that way. Vehicle is coming this way, the elephants are going that way. It's not a... I don't think this was a very close call at all.
The driver surprisingly remains calm and maneuvers through the dirt road carefully despite the herd of towering elephants running towards the group.
Sage advice from the guests there, they don't know what they're talking about.
Fortunately, the elephants stop chasing the group after they get far enough away.
There we go. So that's the one that shouldn't... that's one of the videos that I believe shouldn't be on this Think.
In a Tanzanian safari, a seemingly average lion
Once again,
quickly
this is
turned
nothing.
into a
This is nothing out of the
nightmare for some
ordinary.
tourists
I think
when
this
their
was actually a
car got
fantastic
surrounded by
sighting,
a
not
whole group of male
not something
lions.
going wrong.
Initially, they parked their car on the side of the road after spotting the predators lurking around the tall grass up ahead. Unfortunately, the tension quickly rises when they realize that the lions are now walking right in their direction.
Okay, so the guide is completely wrong there. That lion is not looking for shade. But they're patrolling their territory, and the vehicle is something new. But look at them. They're not showing major interest in the vehicle. They're smelling it and they're moving on. So I don't think this video should even be in this compilation of safaris gone wrong. Nothing too exciting.
For safety purposes, the tour guide, thankfully, decides to drive away from the predators in order to continue their observation from a safer distance.
Right, number
Kruger
17.
National Park. These tourists.
Okay, just a correction here, guys. This is not Kruger National Park. There is no way. You don't have animal interactions in Kruger National Park. Kruger National Park is wild. And if I'm not mistaken,
Said their seemingly average
if you look
trip
at
took a
the
truly
vehicle,
horrifying turn when a white lion suddenly decided to leap into their bus.
okay, so this is the problem with places that do animal interactions. They are still wild animals, and you can't predict their behavior. And this situation was just super scary. Okay, so now listen to the guide, how he talks to the guests. By being authoritative and screaming at them, you're not going to keep them calm.
Relax, relax, all of you relax, relax, all of you relax, 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 relax.
Now, full of panic, the tourists are immediately told to relax and attempt to slowly make their way out of the vehicle.
Do not jump out, climb out, climb out, climb out. Do not jump out. Relax. Come down. Come down. Perfect. Relax.
They continue recording as the tour guides attempt to help.
So this could have easily gone super wrong. So I believe this is at a place called Tandeka, where they do lion interactions, which I'm not a fan of. This is very bad tourism practice.
Help out the remaining tourists, still unfortunately stuck
There we go,
inside
Tandeka, yeah.
with the lion.
He's licking him. He's licking him. Ma'am, can you stand up? Can you stand up? Stand up. Stand up. Stand up, ma'am. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Come on. Come on. Come.
See, and that's the thing where the problem comes in. Is this could go wrong in so many ways. Sudden movements could trigger those animals, and they might not attack, but a quick nip or something like that can cause serious injury. This is not good tourism practice. If you ever go to a place in Africa and they say, "Yeah, you can come and play with the lions and touch the lions and whatnot," tell them to stick it where the sun don't shine. It's not good for the animals. It's not good for tourism at all.
They eventually manage to get everyone out of the bus safely and simply stop recording altogether.
So, Waylon, yes, white lions is a genetic throwback, or it's a recessive gene. But now here's the thing: so you could look at it as a kind of a disability, because recessive genes in humans are sometimes seen as disabilities. There is one place in the world, one pride, in the Timbavati section of the Kruger National Park that has naturally got white lions. All of these lions in captivity are specifically bred to get that white coloration, which do leave some questions about ethics, or in my mind in any case. Right, number 16. Let's do this.
Kruger National Park, South Africa. An average safari
Ooh.
drive quickly turned into a terrifying experience.
I've got
when
questions
these
about this
tourists
video. Lots of
encountered some
questions.
Territorial elephants. This
So I'm not going to tell you guys what this guy should have done. I'm not going to berate him.
Around in a game viewing vehicle
But I can tell you what I would do in this situation. So he's coming down the road. He's seeing the elephants. The way they're moving, you can already see they're agitated. They're moving fast.
One of the mammals' trumpets
They are
in the
irritated.
distance, the driver quickly begins to reverse, all while following
Now
the
you hear
sound.
another one trumpeting. Why would you go back
Upon
to the one
reaching
that's
the
trumpeting
spot,
that
the
sounds
explorers
like it's in
spot
distress?
an elephant in the distance. However, another elephant suddenly emerges from the nearby bushes and steals the show by doing this.
So if we go back and we watch this frame by frame, I think we can. I can show something to you guys. So look there, look there, look there, look there. Look, the elephant started turning before he smacked the bonnet. The whole idea of making noise, yes, it can help, but not in every situation. See, by the time his hand hits the bonnet, that animal had started turning a long time ago already.
Thankfully, the well-trained safari guide is able to avert the impending danger in the nick of time, and the animal wanders back into the bushes.
That elephant would have turned away in any case. Okay, so number 15, here we go. Hey, we're halfway there, folks.
At the beginning of this terrifying video, lions can be seen swarming a blue sedan during a trip to South Africa. Unsurprisingly, most of the lions seen in the video are female, since they are the primary hunters of the pride.
When they drive away, they're gonna get
As the lionesses investigate the vehicle, another...
So, I just want to point out, see the fences there? This is most probably in a lion park. Once again, animals in captivity.
Another lion approaches the area, which makes the driver do this.
Oh, why did he drive forward? Oh, they pulled the hubcap off.
They've got the hubcap.
Oh, they got the hubcap off. Don't run over his paw. Uh-oh.
Despite being startled, the predators continue to swarm the car, biting and scratching its surface continuously. The driver finally decides to press on the gas, despite the threat of angering or activating the pride's prey drive.
Why would you drive away from this?
Oh my God, they're all coming. They're not coming after this car. They
Lock
don't
the
even know this
doors.
one's moving. Let's go.
There we go,
Eric, come on.
They're attacking their car. We gotta get.
Okay, guys, so this is a situation that's caused by a whole lot of things. And you'll see plenty of videos in safari parks with lions and cars. It's one of those things. You're keeping these animals in a small encampment. They're getting fed by humans. They're not hunting for themselves, but they still have that instinct. Plus, now the other thing is they get bored because they don't have to go hunting. They don't have to do anything. It's just so wrong keeping animals like this.
Although once the car gains enough speed, the animals wisely leave it alone.
Right. Number 14, let's go.
The video begins by showing a group of tourists on a trip to South Africa taking pictures of a male lion minding its own business. At first,
well,
the
I believe
animal
that's a
doesn't seem
male
to
and a
mind
female.
The tourists taking pictures and videos of it as it scouts the area.
So already you're going to be on alert because this is probably what we call a honeymoon couple. So he's going to be slightly more aggressive than normal.
But as a territorial and protective animal, it decides to do what it does best and scare the soul out of the tourists.
When they're full, their stomachs stand like this.
Now, right there, guys, remember in the other video I said to you guys we don't shoot until they're about 5 to 3 meters away, and that's exactly why. Look, he came at, it looked like a full charge, but he stopped at about 3 meters away from the vehicle. It's just a warning. It's saying, you in my space, get out of here.
The animal does stop halfway, which is extremely lucky for the tourists.
It's not that lucky, it's normal lion behavior, that. Alright, number 13, here we go.
In northern Botswana, a safari tour went south after a tourist encountered a terrifying leopard that did the unexpected. This petrifying encounter starts with a man recording a leopard walking closer and closer.
Okay, you never ever allow a predator to get that close to a safari vehicle. All it takes is starting the engine and giving it a rev to move that animal off. But once you've got it on the vehicle, now you're in a position where frightening the animal could hurt the guest. So, hey, this is 100% the guide let the animal come too close.
To the truck where he and his tour guide are sitting. With the predator right beside his door, the man becomes rigid as he realizes the amount of danger he is in, when suddenly the animal decides
and now natural
to do
behavior,
this.
natural instinct is you pull your foot away, and now it becomes a toy.
Despite the animal scratching
Look at those
his
claws.
leg, the man remains calm and collected, refusing to make any sudden moves that could escalate the situation and make things worse.
Watch my shoe. He's got my shoe.
See, all it took was starting the engine and the animal moved off. He should have done that long before that animal was on the
Thankfully,
vehicle.
the tour guide decides to turn the Jeep on, scaring the leopard away.
He should have scared it off long before it even touched the vehicle. Because now forever that leopard is going to see that vehicle as a toy. Right,
While
number
walking
12.
around in Zimbabwe, a group of innocent tourists came across a very territorial female lion who didn't seem so happy about having visitors. After spotting the animal,
So why is my video now not playing? Okay, so I think I got a bit of a technical glitch there.
it's of a
Okay, and we are back.
The predator only seems to get angrier by the second. Now seriously worried about their safety, the tourists continue to walk backwards.
Uh-oh. Stand or walk?
Okay, so you don't want to turn your back on that cat, and you don't want to run.
Sadly, they
Walking is
stopped recording,
fine,
and what
but
happens
don't
next
run.
remains unknown.
What is concerning for me is the fact that he's still got his rifle down. He should have at least had it in front of him ready to go. So, right, number 11. Here we go.
In a South African safari, this woman's seemingly normal evening drive quickly turned into a nightmare when she came way too close to a hungry group of lions. At first, nothing seems out of the ordinary as she parks her car in order to observe the predators walking down from the road up ahead.
Look at them all just coming down. Apparently they've been looking at Impala for the last little while, so they're hungry. They're definitely in sort of alert hunting mode. They're coming right past the vehicle. This is incredible.
Contrary to what most would do, she decides to remain completely still as the group of lions now begin walking right past her.
So I'm just going to sit really still and stationary. I'm going to keep talking.
I don't think I'd be talking.
There's nothing quite like lions walking past you, that's for sure.
For many more tense minutes, she and her cameraman avoid any
end of the
sudden
day,
movement,
she didn't
all
do
while
anything
many
wrong there,
more
and I don't think it's
predators
one of the
continue to
situations.
walk past them.
It's a safari
Hello,
gone
good
wrong
evening.
there.
Blood on your face. Yes, you do. What did you kill? They've all got blood on them.
Feeling like she's had enough, she finally decides to start up her engine and drive away from the area while she still can.
Right, so that's one of those videos where nothing wrong. It's actually a fairly good. That's actually a beautiful sighting. Right, number 10. Let's hope they get better from here.
Kruger National Park, South Africa. A brave safari guide was forced to face off against a vicious elephant to save the lives of his tourists. This intense clip starts out with an elephant charging right towards an armed man and his group.
Okay, so I'm gonna make one prediction here, and I'm gonna say they got this wrong. This is not Kruger National Park. Look at all the palm trees. That is most likely in Botswana. Yes, there are palms in the Kruger, but not that many.
Rather than shrink away in fear, the brave man raised up his hand and miraculously stopped the elephant in its tracks. In the moments that followed, the two engaged in an intense stare-down, with neither of them agreeing to back down. In the end, the elephant gives in and walks away, leaving the guide and his group to continue their adventure.
Can't fault that.
On a ride in Kruger.
Okay, guys, now this video. Let's just.
In the end, the elephant gives in and walks away, leaving the guide and his group to continue their adventure.
The following video, when I saw that clip, I knew exactly where this was going. This is not a safari gone wrong. This is a guide that messed up. It's called situational awareness. Look what's going on around you before you get out of the car.
On a ride in Kruger National Park, a brave man on a search for lionfoot.
Because look there. The
guide and his group to continue their adventure.
If we play,
on a ride in Kruger National Park, a brave man on a search for
Look what's lying there. He's looking for them. He's looking at the tracks. I don't get it. How?
Lion footprints came across something truly shocking. After driving around for a little bit, he finally manages to spot what appears to be freshly made footprints in the dirt and tries to show them off to the camera.
Yes! This is very cool. So 1, 2 lioness. The
mean, it's possible they've moved and they've gone completely different side of the property.
He gets back to driving around and eventually reaches another area where lion tracks seem to be on the ground. Not expecting much to happen, he gets out of his car once again and begins looking around the dirt when the unimaginable happened.
Sorry, I'm gone behind the car. It's very rude of me. I want to follow the track with the cut. Word. Word. Okay, so everybody, we've just bumped into Pride of Lion.
Fearing for his
No, you didn't
safety,
bump into
he
them, you
quickly
nearly
starts
walked
up his
into
car and begins driving away completely.
Right. Number 8. Here we go.
What was supposed to be a fun trip to Kruger National Park.
Okay, so this video I've also seen before. If that car just respected the elephant, nothing would have happened. Yeah, this is a problem.
Park, South Africa, turned for the worse after a group of tourists were the victims of a horrible elephant attack. This bone-chilling...
So look there, the elephant is walking in the road. Look at the size of the car versus the elephant. And the other thing is, think about it this way, the Kruger Park is the elephant's home. Nobody comes into your house and pushes you around. So these animals have got right of way.
Clip shows a blue car leading a convoy attempting to drive past an enormous elephant that is blocking the road, preventing them from moving forward.
And all they need to do was just wait.
You won't die. They're gonna die.
Suddenly, the group starts to panic due to the danger of the situation and tries reversing away, but they unfortunately catch sight of the
And then he just decides, you're not going to push me around, you're half my size.
Unfortunately, the clip ends abruptly, and what happens next remains a mystery.
No, it's not a mystery. It was big news in South Africa. It was a couple on honeymoon that was in the vehicle, and I believe they were both quite badly injured. But once again, follow the park rules. You get a little booklet when you come into the park, and on that booklet it says, stay at least 50 meters away from elephants. Don't push them off the road. Very simple.
Kruger National Park. A group of tourists on an exciting safari drive unfortunately had a few hungry lions come and ruin the fun. Initially, everyone on the tour bus seems to be peacefully observing the animals up ahead when they suddenly notice a group of lions to their left.
Okay, I can tell you now by the way that vehicle is parked and where this vehicle is parked, they didn't suddenly see the lions to their left. They were there to see the lions.
Seen such a thing. And they're getting closer and closer. Look how focused they are.
But now keep in mind, this is actually a very dangerous position, because you've got a vehicle, a fence line, and the buffaloes on the other side. So if those lions want to get out of there, where do you want them to go? Just a thought.
As time goes on, the predators appear to be tensing up and adopting a more hostile position, which unfortunately triggers one of the buffaloes to get defensive. Unfortunately for the lions, the rest of the herd also decides to get involved and join the fight. Eventually, the predators manage to get left alone and proceed to walk away from there in one piece.
So that entire incident was caused by the fact that rule number 1 of guiding is when you're in a sighting, make sure you have an escape route, make sure the animal has an escape route. Blocking animals in like that It's not good guiding.
Kruger National Park, a group of tourists.
Oh, so this is going to take some explaining, but I'll come back on this video. So this is Kruger Gate, Kruger National Park.
Tourists paid the price for venturing a little too close to a herd of elephants. The clips.
Okay, so how it works is when you enter the park, that building over there is where you actually park and you walk in and you pay your fee to enter the park and you show your ID and your paperwork and all of those things. And then right at the back here, on the other side of this bridge, is the fence line. So people don't often realize the moment you're on the bridge, you are already inside the Kruger National Park. So park rules apply. But now people think, oh no, we've passed through that little boom gate there, so we can get out and do whatever we want. And no, because that's where things like this go wrong.
Starts out with a herd of elephants emerging from the bushes and walking out onto the road. But when some onlookers get a little too comfortable, things take a horrifying...
So what are they doing all the way over there? Probably taking photos of the Kruger statue.
Turn. Luckily for the tourists, no one is harmed, and the elephants simply head deeper into the parklands.
That could have been very bad. But the thing is, don't get out of your car in the Kruger National Park unless you're at the designated area. When you're at that little gate building, get out of your car, go pay your fee, get back in your car. Simple as that. Just because you haven't entered the gate yet, you crossed the fence line already. You are in the park. Obey the rules. Right, number 5.
A mesmerizing yet unnerving experience greeted a group of tourists after they got a close meeting with a large leopard on a safari. This adrenaline-inducing clip shows a few tourists following a leopard while it's walking around, most likely hunting for prey. The predator can repeatedly be seen approaching and going past the tourists' ride, leaving the tourists both amazed and yet terrified at the same time. The encounter ends with the leopard finally disappearing into the bush away from the tourists.
Okay, so personally there, when it was at the front door, were you sitting as the driver? Remember, we have right-hand drives in South Africa. So were you sitting as the driver, when it's right there by that bumper, you can't see that animal. I would have started my vehicle even if it chased the animal off. Just safety's sake.
In Serengeti National Park, Tanzania, a group of tourists came dangerously close to being attacked by an overprotective male lion. This chilling clip picks up right as this man notices a lioness curled up beside the vehicle, but he suddenly gets the heart attack of his life.
Okay, so this is Serengeti National Park. You've got to remember, it's one of the hottest places on the planet. It gets hot. And that's the only shade in 10 kilometers. Of course the lion is going to take shade. So, and this guy's going to get protective.
Moments later, a lion who has just noticed his female is missing comes out in search for her.
Okay, no, that's not at all what is happening here. This is most likely a honeymoon couple. So they've left the pride to go and mate. It takes about 5 days that they spend away from the pride. He didn't come collecting his females.
Upon seeing her, he begins to eye the vehicle suspiciously. Before he has time to act, the driver revs the engine to life, startling both animals, and they instinctively head towards the other vehicle.
So now the other driver should just do the same. Okay, so to the point, when I answered the question earlier about why lions don't attack people, did you see? Everything was fine there until they saw the movement on the vehicle. So when your guy tells you to sit still, listen. See? The moment he sticks his head out, the lion identifies him.
The other car starts seeing the male lion as too much of a threat, and he tries to scare it off as well. Thankfully, both predators retreat back towards the tall grass, and the tourists simply move on with their expedition.
Okay, number 3. I hope these are the last 3 is actually quite good.
On November 24th, 2021, wildlife enthusiast Ewan Wilson got up close and personal with a herd of giant elephants when he tried to retrieve a camera trapped in the bush. This heart-racing clip starts off with Ewan sitting on the Jeep's hood while a herd of enormous elephants walks closer to him, making him freeze in fear.
Okay, so far it sounds like this is just a human stupidity at it again.
Unable to move from being terrified, he stays on the hood of the Jeep, sitting as still as possible
But he's
to
in the
avoid
tracker seat,
shocking
he should
or
be
irritating
fine.
the herd in front of him.
There's no sign of aggression from the Addies.
Eventually, his team, driving the Jeep, decides to slowly drive in reverse after seeing the elephants gradually lose interest in Ewan, walking away from him.
So that's well handled, and I don't think it was a massive episode.
Luckily,
These things
no
happen
one
to
was
trackers
harmed
on
during
safari
this long
vehicles all the
encounter
time.
with a herd of elephants.
Right. Number 2. Let's hope.
A sunny day in Tanzania. These
Tanzania
tourists
again.
felt rather excited after noticing a female lion approaching their car when things suddenly took a very unexpected turn.
Right next to us, Dad. Right. Oh, don't move.
Oh, okay. I'm good.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
He's attacking your tire. Hey, he's attacking your tire. Oh, man.
As even more female lions begin to join the scene, the tourists attempt to save themselves by driving away when this happens.
What is down there?
They're like,
Oh.
He blew up our tire.
Blew the tire out, right?
Yep.
He took the tire out?
Yep, blew up our tire. There's like so many looking at our car. They think we're the enemy.
Oh my God.
Really
Okay, so they don't think you're the enemy. They're interested, and and your guy did not follow protocol. He let them come too close. They got interesting smells on the tire and whatnot. They don't have hands to feel what it is, so it's an investigative bite. And yeah, unfortunately, lion 1, tire 0.
A group of tourists got the experience of a lifetime after they were greeted by an aggressive and angry elephant during a trip to Serengeti in northern Tanzania, Africa. This clip begins with a group of tourists riding a jeep, getting up close to a herd of enormous elephants, attempting to get to the other side of the road.
No, don't be scared. Stay right here. Awesome.
Okay, what's gonna happen here?
Unable to keep up with the herd, an enormous male bull does this after its path is blocked by the tourist, making it unable to catch up with its herd.
These two here still want a piece of each other.
Okay, let's see.
The towering bull attempts to scare the tourists multiple times, but to no avail, making him angrier and more aggressive as he tries to charge again and again. In an attempt to calm the aggressive, raging animal, the tourists decide to drive far away from the spot as the huge animal keeps chasing them.
And in that case, driving off might be the worst thing you can do. because the animal is trying to intimidate you, and what you are doing is he's submitting, so now he's winning, so now he's going to keep on chasing you. But let's see if that happens
Despite
here.
their efforts, thankfully, it loses interest and stops chasing the tourists, leaving no one harmed.
Okay, guys, so that is
It's of a lifetime after a horrifying.
that is typically one of the things. If you see an elephant herd cross the road, don't go in between the herd and try and block them off. I mean, that's just looking. I know it's great for the guests on the back. They've got elephants on both sides, but really, I mean, it's just slightly disrespectful, don't you think? Right, guys. So that's the videos for the evening, or what I've prepared. It is Friday night, so I didn't expect too many people. But I'll be hanging around. If you guys have any questions, I'll monitor the chat for a while, and let's see where we're going with this. So I know there's a bit of a delay, so I'll be hanging around for a couple of minutes and see if there's any questions. So if you're hearing a scratchy sound, it's my little Dachshund lying under the table doing the getting the scratchies. Right. So, we'll see you again next time, folks. Have a wonderful evening.